I've just popped my plate onto one of these turntables. They are one of the best investments I made. It was actually a birthday present that I requested, and it just makes decorating so much easier to just swivel it around as you go. Now you can see that I've popped the musk lollies and the mint lollies, and I've used some of the pink icing behind the Jaffas. Now for me, if you can see these edges here, they're not very neat. I don't like that, so I'm actually going to pipe some decorative designs into it, and I think I'm going to add a little bit of decorative work just along the bottom here as well to finish it off. And I might actually add some cashews or something in the middle of those just to sort of brighten it up a little bit. It's a little bit flat for me. And you can see I've attached the scaffolding to the roof, and it's important that you leave these edges of the sticks hanging out, and they're all fairly uniform. And the reason for that is what the house is going to sit on top of when we assemble the roof. It's still not dry yet. You can sort of see it's still squishy to touch. So I'm not happy to stick it on just yet. So I'll keep decorating, and it shouldn't take much longer. Since the last time I spoke to you, it's about 10 to 10. So we'll see how we go, and I'm hoping that by 10 o'clock it should be dry enough to start putting the rest of the roof together. So here you can see that I've just added a couple more lollies and decorations. And I've actually left the wrappers on these candy canes because some of them have cracked inside, and it's just easier to leave it that way. This way I know that it's not going to break. However, the candy canes that I added over the tops of the windows, I actually pulled all the plastic wrapper off those and in order to cut them. Now to assemble the roof, you can see I've already piped the pink icing on there, and I've used a number 67 piping tip, and it's used to make leaves primarily for. You can see it's got the vein stripped down the middle, and the reason why I've used that is because it creates a good texture to glue the gingerbread together with, and I could also layer 2 rows evenly across the bamboo sticks, and it's still relatively flat. I found that if I use the star tool, it tends to be too thick, and then you get too much sagging in between all the edges. So I'm going to stop the camera now, and I'll pop the roof on. But you can see that I've totally covered all the edges with the icing. I've let it set for a little bit, and now I'm going to place the roof on top. Here you can see I've started to add some of the decorative lattice work around the outside edges. Now I'm going to try and hold the camera and do this at the same time. There's a knack to doing it, and I'm using the fine piping bag. I'll just try and zoom that in a bit. It's a process of pushing and letting it drag as you pipe it out, and then stopping. Letting it drag, push it to hold it, push it to let it fall. That was a crappy one. Now here I'm actually going to add a double layer. So I've done one layer around this side. This layer has actually dried, so I'm going to add a second layer over the top. And I'll finish some white work over the top of that. And it's finally finished. I found these cute little Santas, and I thought that would be a nice thing to add on the side of the house. And this is a lolly tree that I bought from the lolly shop at Sweet As, which is one of my favourite shops to get all the lollies from. That's where I bought all of these from. And I just thought that would be so cute just to finish off the rest of the house and give it a little bit more atmosphere rather than just being a little house on its own. The very first gingerbread houses I baked and decorated, I just used to do the house, and then I started to add a little bit more to the scenery, and it just makes it a little bit more of an adventure for the kids as well. So there you can see the rest of the dripping snow off the eaves. And I popped some candy cane loops at the top. Now I left the wrapping, as I said earlier, when I left it around the doorway with the wrapping on the top, because in previous years I'd taken the wrapping off and they started to go melty and really sticky. And I don't know why that happened, but they didn't hold their shape very well. So I've left them in the plastic wrap this time round. And that's it for my gingerbread house. If you have any questions or you'd like me to explain a little bit more of something, if I didn't explain it enough for you, or you've got any questions or suggestions that you'd like to make, I would really love to hear them. So please post them at the bottom of this post or on my Facebook page or on the fan page at Ingrid Creates. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I hope you also enjoy making your own gingerbread house. Bye.